Appreciate y'all. Coach Marcus, sending nothing but love. It's love, y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all for real. Okay, I love my beautiful family. Love my kids. Love my wife. I love all you. Wow, these comments. I don't know nothing about no boyfriend. Maybe y'all tell me. I have no idea. You know, I don't know nothing. I don't pay it no mind. You know, it's tough when it feels like you're going through something alone and no one understands, and you know, no one's there for you, and it's just like, you know, when you're a man, especially a black man, they're like, oh, he's tough, he's strong, but you know, it was a year and a half crying myself to sleep every night. You know, nobody see that. Yeah. Nobody see that. Yeah. You know, like, you know, you live 5 minutes away from your babies, you know what I'm saying? Because people who know Cory Hardrict know that his kids and his family was everything to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm stronger than I thought I was. Yes. I'm really stronger. And that by the grace of God, it's like, I'm here and I'm still going.
Announced that she's going to be getting a divorce.
Yes.
Does like a half of your heart break for her?
You know, I support her.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever she wants, the Mowrys have her back. Now she just kind of just wants to, you know, just process it all, take it all in, and, you know, be a little private about that.
Yeah.
And, you know, as a sister, you know, I'm just going to respect that.
Baby, the internet is on fire right now because the streets are whispering about a possible fallout between Tia Mowry and Gabrielle Union. And it's giving messy. Rumor has it, Tia might actually be blaming Gabrielle for the end of her marriage to Cory Hardrict. Yes, you heard that right. The same Gabrielle who was once her shoulder to lean on could now be the very person fans are calling the villain in her love story. But is this really a sisterhood gone sour? Or just another case of fans connecting the wrong dots? Let's break down exactly how we got here. Chile, the streets are buzzing, and y'all better buckle up because word on the curb is that Tia Mowry might have some serious smoke for none other than Gabrielle Union. Yes, Gabrielle. The same woman fans once thought was her ride or die during the hardest chapter of her life might now be at the center of whispers about a broken sisterhood. The tea? People are saying Gabrielle may have played a bigger role in Tia's divorce from Cory Hardrict than anybody realized. And now, folks are side-eyeing their friendship, wondering if what started as support turned into influence, and maybe even regret. Remember, Tia once stood tall, saying she had zero regrets about walking away. But lately, her posts, her vibe, and even the way she's moving got fans convinced she might not be so sure anymore. So, what really went down between Tia, Cory, and Gabrielle? And could Tia actually be holding Gabrielle responsible for the end of her marriage? Baby, let's get into it, because this story is getting messy by the minute. When Tia first announced her divorce from Cory Hardrict, fans were shocked. On the outside, their marriage looked solid, 14 years together, 2 kids, and that picture-perfect family image. But behind the smiles, cracks were starting to show. And while Tia made it clear she was ready to move on, Cory, he was not letting go without a fight. Almost immediately after the split went public, Cory hit Instagram live looking broken, vulnerable, and straight up begging for another chance. He told the world that no matter what, he still loved Tia, he still loved his family, and he wasn't afraid to say it out loud. At one point, he even broke down saying he cried himself to sleep for over 1.5 years. Baby, that's not just sad, that's heartbreaking. He wanted everyone to know he wasn't the one who walked away. He was the one still holding on. And let's not forget, while Cory was pleading his case in public, the rumor mill was doing what it does best, spinning. Whispers started flying that Cory had cheated, and that's why Tia finally pulled the plug. But Cory was quick to shut all that down. He went live again, clearly frustrated, clearly fed up, swearing up and down that he never stepped out on his wife. He even snapped at fans who tried to paint him as the villain, saying the divorce was complicated enough without people making up lies. To him, it was about setting the record straight. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't unfaithful either. Meanwhile, Tia stayed cool, calm, and collected. No messy lives. No back and forths. No public begging. She was standing firm in her decision, and she wasn't looking back. While Cory was bearing his soul, Tia was posting glowing photos, inspirational captions, and letting the world know she was finally choosing herself. And that contrast, the desperate husband versus the unbothered wife, was exactly what had fans divided. Was Tia being cold-hearted, or was she simply refusing to return to something that no longer served her? Just when everybody thought the divorce would quietly wrap up, Cory switched gears and brought the drama straight to the courtroom. Instead of just signing the papers and walking away, he shocked fans by asking for alimony and even pushing the courts to revisit their prenup. Now, let's be clear, the prenup had been signed way back in 2008, right before their wedding. But Cory's team argued that it wasn't fair, that it was signed too close to the big day, and that maybe he was pressured into agreeing to terms that didn't benefit him. In other words, he was basically saying, hold up, this whole thing needs a do-over. But Tia? Oh, she wasn't about to let that slide. While Cory tried to slow things down, she clapped back with a whole different type of energy. Tia wasn't just trying to protect her money. She was making a statement. She went after everything, and I mean everything. Not just the houses, not just the cars, not just the bank accounts. Sis got so thorough that she demanded the airline miles, the credit card reward points, and even the perks tied to her businesses. Petty? Maybe. But to a lot of fans, it felt more like Tia was drawing a line in the sand. This wasn't about a couple of flights or hotel upgrades. It was her way of saying, I'm not backing down, and I'm not giving you a single inch. And honestly, the move worked. Fans could see the difference between Cory's play and Tia's strategy. Cory's push for alimony and prenup drama came off like desperation. Like he was trying to drag things out in hopes of maybe wearing her down enough to reconsider. But Tia's response? It showed she wasn't here to play games. She wasn't wavering, she wasn't second-guessing, and she wasn't letting Cory control the narrative. Every little detail she demanded in court was a message. I made my choice, and I'm not going back. By the time Cory realized just how far Tia was willing to go, he backed down. That messy courtroom showdown fizzled out, and the divorce finally moved forward without any more fireworks. But the damage was already done. Fans had seen just how ugly things could get behind the scenes. And for a lot of people, that's when the narrative shifted from heartbreak to all-out battle. Now, once the dust settled in court and the divorce was finalized, everyone was curious. What's next for Tia Mowry? At first, she made it look like single life was everything she had dreamed of. She was glowing on Instagram, smiling in her interviews, and dropping captions that screamed independence. But behind the glamour, the reality of post-divorce dating hit her hard, and she wasn't shy about letting the world in on the struggle. Tia hopped on TikTok more than once to poke fun at her new reality, joking about awkward first dates, weird DMs sliding into her inbox, and how completely different the dating scene looked after 14 years of being off the market. Fans laughed with her, but some couldn't help but notice the undertone. It didn't just look funny, it looked exhausting. And that's when speculation really started to bubble. Was Tia truly living her best single girl era, or was she quietly realizing that walking away from Cory wasn't as simple as she made it out to be? The internet got even louder when Tia posted a few cryptic messages that seemed a little too pointed to ignore. One photo of herself was captioned, "What one man won't do, another man will, child," and fans immediately clocked it as shade toward Cory. Then came the whispers that she had started wearing her wedding ring again, sparking wild rumors of a possible reconciliation. Was she softening? Was she reconsidering? Or was it just Tia playing with the narrative to keep people guessing? But no matter what people speculated, Tia doubled down publicly, insisting she was happy and exactly where she needed to be. In interviews and social posts, she reminded fans that just because dating is hard doesn't mean you run back to a situation that no longer serves you. On the surface, it was empowering, but to fans watching closely, it almost felt like she was trying a little too hard to prove it. The constant affirmations, the over-explaining, the not-so-subtle digs. It all made people wonder if the confidence was real or if Tia was low-key battling regret behind the scenes. Then came the holidays, and that's when things got even more confusing. Around Christmas, Tia posted this long, emotional message about the challenges of single motherhood during the holiday season. She talked about how co-parenting was a journey, how it could feel lonely, and how hard it was to adjust to a new family dynamic. It was raw, it was heartfelt, and it tugged at people's emotions. But here's the kicker. While she was writing about the struggles of being a single mom, she was actually spending Christmas with Cory and the kids. That contradiction did not go unnoticed. Fans immediately side-eyed the whole thing, like, wait a minute, sis. How are you talking about the pain of single parenting when the man you divorced is literally right there at the holiday table? To some, it looked like mixed messaging. To others, it looked like strategy. Because let's be real, posting about loneliness while cozying up with your ex on Christmas is the perfect recipe to get people speculating about a reconciliation. And speculate they did. Twitter threads and TikToks blew up with theories that Tia was low-key testing the waters, trying to signal to Cory, and maybe even to the public, that she might be open to giving their relationship another shot. The fact that she leaned into the emotional language about family traditions and keeping the love alive for the kids only added fuel to the fire. Was she trying to soften the ground for a reunion? Or was it just a coincidence that her holiday message didn't match the reality fans could see with their own eyes? Either way, the holidays blurred the lines in a big way. Up until then, Tia had been crystal clear. She was moving forward, she was independent, and she was unshaken. But suddenly the vibe shifted. That one Christmas post made people wonder if she was as certain as she wanted us to believe, or if she was quietly reconsidering her decision and using the holidays as the perfect cover to get closer to Cory again. Now let's talk about where Gabrielle Union fits into all this, because baby, this is where the story takes a turn. In the early days of Tia's divorce, Gabrielle was front and center as one of her biggest cheerleaders. Having gone through a very public split of her own in the past, Gabrielle knew the pain, the embarrassment, and the pressure that comes when the world is watching her marriage fall apart. So, when Tia announced she was done with Cory, Gabrielle swooped in like a big sister, taking her on trips, hanging out constantly, and showing her that life after divorce didn't have to be doom and gloom. At first, fans thought it was beautiful, two powerhouse women supporting each other through tough times. But then the vibe shifted. Over time, people started noticing that Tia and Gabrielle weren't posting together as much. No girls' trips, no fun selfies, no playful comments under each other's posts. And in the world of social media, silence speaks volumes. Fans began speculating that maybe Gabrielle had been more than just a supportive friend, that she might have been the one encouraging Tia to go all the way through with the divorce instead of trying to patch things up with Cory. That narrative gained even more traction when people compared Gabrielle's role to Tamara's. See, Tamara, Tia's twin, was way more cautious. When asked about the divorce, she gave that very careful, very lukewarm response. I support my sister in whatever she wants. It was respectful, yes, but it didn't scream approval. It almost felt like Tamara didn't agree with the decision, but wasn't about to put her sister on blast publicly. Meanwhile, Gabrielle was the only one openly riding for Tia from day one. So now, with Tia allegedly showing signs of regret, fans are piecing things together, wondering if she feels like Gabrielle pushed her into a choice she wasn't truly ready to make. And this is where the streets really started putting two and two together. With all the signs of regret creeping into Tia's posts, and Gabrielle suddenly nowhere to be found in her circle, fans are now convinced there's been a quiet fallout. The theory? Tia might secretly blame Gabrielle for encouraging her to leave Cory in the first place. Remember, Gabrielle was the loudest voice of support when Tia filed for divorce. But now that Tia seems to be struggling with single life, it's like that sisterhood disappeared into thin air. People have noticed the distance. No more joint vacations, no birthday shout-outs, no casual check-ins on social media. For two women who used to broadcast their bonds so proudly, the silence is deafening. In the world of celebrity friendships, when the posts stop, the questions start. Some fans believe Tia cut Gabrielle off because she feels misled, like Gabrielle talked her into walking away only for her to realize the grass isn't always greener. Others think Tia is just pulling back because it's hard to face the friend who cheered her on when she made a choice she might now be second-guessing. Either way, the alleged distance has people whispering that what was once a ride-or-die friendship could now be a casualty of Tia's divorce drama. And if there's even a hint of truth to that, phew, baby, that's messy. So now we're left with the million-dollar question. Did Gabrielle Union unintentionally sabotage Tia's marriage? Or is this just another case of the internet stirring up drama where there really isn't any? On one hand, it's easy to see why fans are suspicious. Tia and Gabrielle went from inseparable to practically strangers in the blink of an eye. Add in the rumors that Tia is struggling with single life, the subtle signs of regret, and the silence between the two women, and suddenly, the idea of a fallout doesn't seem so far-fetched. But on the other hand, let's not forget, this could all be smoke and mirrors. Maybe Gabrielle and Tia are just busy living their own lives and don't feel the need to put their friendship on display anymore. Maybe Tia's cryptic posts are just about the normal ups and downs of divorce, and not a hidden message about blame or regret. After all, the internet loves to take breadcrumbs and bake a whole messy cake out of them. Still, one thing's for sure, this story has layers. Tia's divorce, Cory's heartbreak, the court drama, the holiday confusion, and now the whispers of tension with Gabrielle. It's the kind of celebrity tea that keeps people glued to their screens. But at the end of the day, only Tia and Gabrielle know what really went down. So let's open up to y'all. Do you think Tia is secretly regretting her divorce? And is Gabrielle the one catching the blame for it? Or is this just the internet doing what the internet does best, turning a private decision into a public conspiracy? Drop your thoughts below, because I need to know where y'all stand on this one.